What's up everyone, it's KI Camera here, got another update video for you, and today we're going to be talking about update 14.5 that just dropped today, earlier this morning, and essentially it is a upgrade to the British forces. It's basically the start of a massive facelift to improve the British forces. They get a bunch of new weapons, a sub-faction, and just some other map variants such as for Driel and El Alamein, as well as some bug changes, but the main focus of this update is the fixing of the British army, as the British faction in this game is really underwhelming, and the devs have noted that, and the player base has commented on it many times, and the devs have been working to try and fix this problem. So I'm going to go through the changelog notes, kind of top to bottom here, and see if I can get through all this in a timely manner. So starting off, we have two new night maps coming to the game in the form of El Alamein Dusk version and Driel Night version. So those are the only two maps we're getting in this update, or I guess if you consider them new maps. I'm interested to see how El Alamein Dusk is going to play out, especially with the new factions that have dropped into the game, or the new sub-factions, which I'll get to later in the video. But it makes me wonder if any of the stability problems are going to be apparent, or lagging issues, or just the general issues of El Alamein in general. Driel Night will probably be a decent experience, but again, time will tell on that front. But those are the only two maps we're getting in this update. Now, with that out of the way, I want to talk about what's actually being truly added to the game, and that is the sub-factions, starting off with those. So the British 8th Army and German Afrika Korps are coming to the game, essentially little sub-factions of the already existing British Army and German Army. These factions have way differing loadouts compared to what they have for the main faction counterpart in the British or German armies. For example, the British 8th Army has Tommy guns, or M1928 Thompsons, with both box mag and drum mag variants, while the German Afrika Korps loses their Gewehr 43s and STG 44s, making it more historically accurate for the time period. I think on this aspect, at least for El Alamein, this was a slam dunk of a move. They've made the forces essentially balanced, at least in the small arms department. That way, the British forces on El Alamein aren't dealing with Gewehr 43s and STG 44s where they just get completely outmatched, on top of the new weapons that have been brought in, which I'll get to shortly. It also just opens the door for other theaters to be put in the game, such as if they expand to the Pacific Theater, or maybe even the Italian Theater. Now, in terms of the tank changes that are coming, there are a couple things for El Alamein with the sub-factions. For the German Afrika Korps, they will not have access to the Panther tank. Only the Tiger tank will be available for the Afrika Korps. And for the British 8th Army, they will have access to the Mark III Churchill heavy tank. I will note, though, that the Churchill 3 will not be in the Driel map, as, at least if I remember in a previous dev brief, they will be bringing the Churchill 7 at a later date. But we will see on that front, obviously. This is merely speculation at this point. But either way, this is big. The fact that the British will have a proper heavy tank will at least make it a little bit easier for them, although the tank cannon is more of a medium tank cannon, as it'll have a 57mm cannon, but it's something at least. It's a step in the right direction. Another weapon that will actually be coming to both the regular British faction as well as the British 8th Army sub-faction is the Lee Enfield SMLE No. 1 Mark III rifle. Essentially, this is the World War I version of the Lee Enfield. This rifle will be replacing the Lee Enfield Pattern 1914 across both the main British faction and the British 8th Army sub-faction. Which, to be fair, I don't even know why the P14 or the Lee Enfield 1914 was even a rifle for this game. One of the big advantages for the British should have been their bolt-action rifles having a 10-round capacity compared to their other nations' counterparts, but that's just me. But at least we're getting it now. Again, it's another step in the right direction. Another big thing for the British faction across both the main and sub-factions for the British is that the Bren gun finally has a working bipod. About freaking time. So that is finally in the game, and this way isn't terrible. This is just the only footage I really have, though, so just keep that in mind. Another thing I wanted to touch on was just the uniforms, what you'll expect to see in battle. You can always go into the barracks and see what they look like as well, but I'll have a couple pictures on screen now, just so you can get an idea of what you're going to be looking at. On top of that, there will be a P-Dot uniform as new paid DLC. Again, just a simple cosmetic. I'll throw that on screen now as well, but nothing major in that department. They also made new loading screens that I'll also throw up here. Kind of cool, makes it look a little cleaner, and just some nice aesthetically pleasing aspects about the game. Along with the faction, Team 17 have tried to fix some bugs. I'll throw them up on screen. I'm not going to go through every single one. Some of the voice chat problems, little prompts when maybe getting kicked out of a unit, and the recon tank gunner sight when you are in the gunner seat and not zoomed in, there was no scope reticle. So that has also been fixed. All this and other little map things that you can read on the changelog that I'll link in the description below. That pretty much sums up the update. Overall, I think this will be a really good step in the right direction. I know I've already mentioned that a couple of times just because I think the sub-factions open the door for other things, and the British have desperately needed a facelift. The devs have noted that and at least are trying to take steps to fix it. And more stuff will be coming in the future, so we can look forward to that. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the update. For the American viewers, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you all in the next one.